We are Two Guys Playing Zelda, and you can follow us on Twitter at Two Guys Play Zelda or email us at twoguysPlayingZelda@gmail.com.
Welcome to our video walkthrough for the Skyview Temple. It's the first dungeon we encounter in Skyward Sword.
And in this game, it's really the first time in any Zelda game you get the Wii Motion Plus controller where it actually captures your exact motions, which I actually kind of like. A lot of people don't, but I thought it was a good part.
I enjoyed it. Especially after playing a little Twilight Princess with the motion controls, how imprecise they were.
Yeah, very
imprecise compared to what they are in Skyward Sword. It's a night and day difference.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fantastic. And I think they base so many enemies and puzzles around that.
Yeah,
I mean, it does kind of wear out your wrist after a while if you play for too long. But I think it's well implemented. The Motion Plus works fantastically.
Yeah, I think it's great. Very accurate.
And just a heads up, we might get caught in every net.
Tons. I get caught tons. Yes. But I don't know how Red feels because Red's playing through Skyward Sword right now. But I put this very high on my list of Zelda games. Really, I just absolutely love this game.
I haven't beat it yet, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it so far. It's just one of those you kind of have to do it in smaller doses because of the motion controls.
And it's an epic game. I mean, this game takes forever, so
there's a lot to do.
It takes forever to get through these webs. And there's the keys again, which not in every Zelda game, but just they are in a lot. So,
but yeah, it's pretty cool how they implement the motion controls for like not only killing enemies but also solving the puzzles, cutting down these trees, things like that. It's just I feel like it's well done. As you mentioned a few minutes ago, some people really don't like it.
Well, the reason some people are like, well, quit playing Skyward Sword, like based on that reason alone. I was like, Zelda is a game of patience.
Yeah.
And like you have to use all kinds of patience to even get through a game. So why would you just quit because something's making you upset?
Yeah. And at its heart, Zelda games are puzzle games, and I think having to solve some of these puzzles with the motion controls beats the heck out of just mashing the A or B button repeatedly.
And you get used to the motion controls pretty quickly. So
you do. Like I said, it can wear you out a little bit, but just manage your game time, which you should be doing anyway.
Yes. And here, I thought there's an amber relic up here, but I'd actually already gotten it earlier, so.
And that is a neat thing that they implemented in. I think this is the first game they did it. Kind of this crafting system where you collect like these not treasures, I guess, like amber relics, tumbleweeds for crying out loud later on, all kinds of things you can use to upgrade.
And use those to upgrade your weapon, right?
Like your shield, your slingshot, all that stuff. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
But there's our first kind of Wii Motion Plus, or whatever it's called. It's Wii Motion Plus, right? That's kind of our first example. Well, I mean, early in the game you had to do some stuff, but right there is where the accuracy part comes into it.
And I like the eyeball because it's a little bit of a throwback to some of the 3D Mario games where you have to run in a circle around the eye enemy to make him dizzy and fall over and die.
That is true. I didn't think
that was nice little Nintendo connection
throwback. There. I like that. So on Throwback Thursday.
Yes, it is. Another thing I really liked about this intro dungeon is kind of divided into a couple of very distinct parts. Right now you see we're in this dark, dank cave like area, and later on the dungeon really opens up.
Yeah, and it gets a lot brighter because of the sunshine through the top part and everything.
Yep.
And one thing I also really liked about this game was the running.
Yes.
Like how you could run, the stamina, you can get places a little bit faster, and also when you're on vines or whatever, you can kind of jump up and across faster too. So because we spent a lot of time crawling across vines, especially in Twilight Princess.
Yes, between crawling around vines, running across fields, having the sprint and the jumping function.
Oh yeah.
Really, it kind of speeds things up. I'm not such a big fan of the fatigue. Like the little
but there's a little you can get stamina packets, I guess. Whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
But also, this is kind of like a forest temple, but it's also kind of like a water temple. It has a little bit of both elements to it.
Especially in this introduction area, this first about 10 or 15 minutes, you're going to see us lowering the water level.
That reminds you of something, doesn't it?
Bring it right into the wet.
I'm pretty sure, man, it's just a rough time on these things.
Well, the depth perception stuff, you never really know how close you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Until all of a sudden it's telling you to shake it.
And also you think you got some of it done, and then you hit one little part and it'll grab you.
Yep.
And oh man, I struggled right here this first time. The key right here is you have to swing your sword horizontally, and then you can hit him around. That gets spun around, and then you can hit him on his belly.
Because you used to do a regular swing, sometimes you'll get him spinning around so fast you can't hit his belly. And that's really annoying.
I spent forever right there.
Oh, those spiders annoyed me to no end on this dungeon. And there's plenty of them you'll fight.
And I kind of like that little crystal, I guess you could call it. It just was like, I don't remember that in any Zelda game, really. No, so that was kind of different.
Sometimes we had hit like those like little white crystals or whatever.
Yeah, but it never like really split up or anything.
Yeah, it's a new little effect.
Same concept, different look, I guess, or different visual.
Exactly.
But I mean, I think it's a good first temple. You know, not too much. We always talk about first temples are kind of bland. This is kind of got a little bit of blandness to it, I guess you could say. But still, overall.
Yeah, my only knock on the temple really would be kind of, I guess, the lack of varied enemies. It's like you get the spiders and things like that, but there's not a ton of enemies.
There really wasn't a lot, I guess.
But other than that, you know, there's plenty of puzzles to solve right off the bat.
Oh yeah, there definitely is. And this first temple took me quite a while.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I think our video between the 3 parts is, what, 35 minutes?
Yeah, 45 minutes.
So it's got to be one of the longer opening dungeons in the Zelda game, yeah. They don't throw you into the shallow end.
And by far one of the harder boss fights, I think, in any Zelda game. First boss fights.
I think me fighting the boss the first time could have been a 35-minute video.
We would have had to cut that one. That could be like my boss fight in the Force Temple from Ocarina of Time. When I just got my butt beat for 9 minutes straight.
Yep. A little creative editing every now and then we have to put into these videos we put together. But plus, another thing I did love about this dungeon, the item you get.
The best item in the game, I think.
And you get it right off the bat. It's definitely one of the most useful and creative, I thought.
I just like it because it can like allow you to look places like you might not be able to get to right away, and it also allows you to look at places you might not be able to at any point in the game.
Exactly. And they implement it very well into puzzles later on too.
Oh, definitely.
You'll see plenty of that throughout our walkthroughs.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I think if it wasn't for the spinner in Twilight Princess, I think it might be my favorite weapon.
It's pretty high up there, and you'll see us use it frequently throughout the game.
Obviously, the sword.
Well,
I kind of like that weapon too.
It gets the job done. Nice jump to the vine there.
But I like what you brought up earlier about it feels kind of like 2 totally different dungeons. You kind of got like a darker, like the blue and stuff like right here. And then you got in the next room here in a little while. It's like, oh, Brian, I really do like that with this temple.
And plus, it's different for Zelda games. Most Zelda games, the dungeon has the same theme most of the way throughout, or the same aesthetics, the same design,
visuals.
Yeah, but this one definitely takes it to a kind of a different level.
And you want to kind of slide down on this rope right here, I guess. It'll make you like swing farther, which will allow you. Oh man, I suffer with this guy right here. This guy has my number.
Yep. And here's where those motion controls to fight the enemies, I think, is really well implemented. He'll open his mouth one way or the other,
and you gotta do it that way.
Yeah.
And this actually did make me upset. Like the enemies like this, I did not like.
I think they're well done. You just gotta get it right.
Yeah.
Again, it's about paying attention.
The whole switch is what gets me when he switches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't need to. I was trying to get seeds for my slingshot.
Oh.
So I knew I was running low, and I thought that enemy could give me some. But I think you can only get seeds from those plants, I think.
I think you're right, yeah.
So I was trying to get him this whole week.
Nice.
I thought I was going to run out of seeds.
Well, you kind of needed that heart, too, but you also lost 2 hearts.
No, I didn't even get the heart. I went through all that trouble, and I didn't even get the heart.
Wow. The spiders are so much easier when you can just sneak up behind them.
Yeah, definitely. Or when you cut the webs all the way through. Yeah, I was running low on seeds. I was starting to get worried. There's a part later on in the last part where I'm trying to knock down a rope, and I run out of seeds. And I'm like, I hope this beetle works. And it ended up working.
Oh, again, another handy use for the beetles. Switches, vines, things like that. Again, you'll see all that.
Flashbacks to the water temple right there.
I like to think of it as flashbacks to the Swamp Palace and Link to the Past.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's much more pleasant memories.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true. That's a good point. I like that point, actually.
That was one of our favorite dungeons from Link to the Past. But yeah, the water level changes on this dungeon aren't taken to the extreme. That nothing's taken to the extreme that the water temple from Ocarina is.
And right here we begin the dungeon map. And what's different about the dungeon map in this game is it shows locations of the treasure chest, and I think even doors that are locked.
I believe so. Yep.
And so there's actually no compass in this game.
It's a nice change of pace.
I don't think.
I
don't think there is.
I don't believe so. It's a nice change of pace to have all that presented to you once on the map. I never really understood how a compass pointed at a treasure chest instead of just pointing north anyway.
I never actually thought about that, to be honest with you. You would think the map would have the treasure chest on it.
I know, but,
Wow, we've been commentating this long, and I never thought about that concept.
Because all I know, my compass is in real life if I had one.
Yeah.
Don't point towards any treasure.
No, I wish they did, yeah. I wish they did.
I'd be downloading that compass app as quick as I could. Anyway, but yeah, the map shows the treasure chest, everything on its own. It's nice to kind of cut down on the dungeon treasures that you have to find, or the items in the dungeon you have to find.
And also another thing that I really liked about this game was, like, it seemed like a lot of dungeons were just one level, like they were big.
Yeah.
I'm really not a fan of the different floors. I like just looking at one big map and just going through that one big map. And on these, most of them are just one level.
They are.
Just one big dungeon. I kind of like that about this game.
I tell you, Ocarina of Time, when they first got the 3D, they really took those multiple levels.
Yes, they did.
They think about the Deku Tree right off the bat.
Yeah, I just thought it was too hard to switch between sometimes. You're like, does this place go down to here, or is,
It makes the map difficult to read.
Yes,
But yeah, it does seem much more straightforward, vertical-wise, in this game than in previous games.
So yeah, just swing sword and you get on his belly, and that means it's tough.
Nice job on that one, though.
I tell you, man, I'm a fan of this game. When you're more of a fan of the game, you seem to play better sometimes.
And it's just you take a lot more joy in doing it. Now, a neat puzzle here is earlier you saw us do this trick with one eye, where we make them spin in circles. Here we have to get both of them looking at our.
And you gotta be facing forward too.
Yeah. Otherwise, the eyes just kind of go up and down.
So it's very accurate.
Yep.
Well, I'm not accurate, but the Motion Plus is accurate.
Yep. Later on, you'll see actually a puzzle with 3 of the eyes, and you have to get in the perfect position to work all 3 of them.
And face forward.
Yeah,
exactly. If you're facing to the side, you only kind of get one of them.
Yeah.
A little dramatic for a small key there, though.
I know. Those are nice treasures. They really beefed up the treasure chest in this game, though.
Yes, they did.
Like that nice bright blue one instead of just the bland old brown treasure chest.
And then, like, this is kind of like the main room, but now be leaving this room and, like, going to the next main room, I guess you could say. Kind of where the dungeon or temple all switches up.
Yeah.
With that big old bright room, and then we'll be facing our first mini-boss.
Yep, and you can already see right there, just at the end of this hallway, it starts to get a little brighter. We get in this next room, and it's like a whole new dungeon.
See, even the little things like that lock falling off, just, like, they did a lot of little different things like that I just really liked, which I think they also did with Twilight Princess. They did. But just, I don't know, I just liked it.
Yeah. And this is a great big main.
And this is what's called Skyview, really.
Yep. Nice hub room, I guess, because you got a lot of offshoots. And always a good idea to save your game.
And now later on in our walkthroughs, they actually do cut out the save part. Why I didn't do it right here, I don't know.
But it is a good idea to save, because these dungeons, especially if you're playing without a guide, can take you.
Well, it also activates those bird statues, so you can get back to those areas. Well, I'm not sure if you can do it in temples or not, but it's supposed to allow you to get back to those areas, and you can't activate them until you save.
In the overworld, at least. Yeah, I'm not sure about it in the inside the dungeons.
I'm not sure
either. That's actually a good question. But yeah, as we mentioned, we're going to enter this area and fight our first mini-boss.
Which is a Stalfos, isn't it? Yes. Yes, it is.
A big Stalfos. I thought this was a really fun mini.
It is fun. It is fun. And here again, we got the Motion Plus, where you got to swing your sword a certain direction, which I think that made it cool. I just did.
Yep.
Set that plant. Didn't like that plant.
Yeah, basically, just you have to swing the same way that his sword's on.
No. Well, yeah. But sometimes they'll have one like angle like that right there. You got to swing to the left right there and get him.
Wherever he's not blocking. Because if he blocks you, and he can counterattack, and he does some damage. As you see, we're already down to half health here.
But I love this because it made it feel like a real fight. Like you were really fighting people, you know?
Yep. Plus, it was, like I mentioned earlier, it's better than just mashing the A or B button over and over.
Yeah, I can still get nailed. I got some good shots on him there, though.
You did some damage.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, when he's like winding up like that, you kind of, get in a few hits.
Yeah,
get out of there.
Get out of there,
Thankfully, there's these little heart plants around that room that.
You'll see a lot of heart plants, or hearts, I guess, in mini bosses and bosses throughout the early dungeons or temples.
They try to throw you a bit of a lifeline there. And later on, you get the ability to do the dousing, where you can actually search for hearts if you're low on health, which is convenient.
Yeah, that is true. I never did use that, though.
I haven't either.
Balls to the wall, baby. We die.
And here's the item we mentioned earlier, called the Beetle. Great item. It'll basically use it. You can use it to hit switches or to pick up items that would generally be out of your reach.
one of my favorite items in any Zelda game.
Oh, I agree.
I'd definitely put it in the top 3, maybe 2.
Yep.
I think the spinner's number 1 for me on Twilight Princess.
And here the lady in our sword will give us a quick another speech, one of her many. And when she's done talking, that wraps up part 1 of our Skyview Temple walkthrough.